Girl, pause what you're doing, because what just came out about Diddy? Wild. Like Hollywood's darkest secrets are finally unraveling. And at the center of it, 50 Cent and now Joe Rogan, both blowing the lid off of this case with names, shade, and receipts. Imagine this, a high-profile courtroom, press everywhere, the tension thick enough to slice through. And while Cassie's up there delivering some of the most gut-wrenching testimony you've ever heard, boom, out of nowhere, 50 Cent drops a statement and Joe Rogan joins the conversation, straight up exposing a list of celebrities who may be connected to Diddy's twisted empire. And y'all, the internet is on fire. This is no longer just a scandal. This is a reckoning. So stick around, because I'm walking you through every twist, how Cassie's words shook the courtroom, how 50 went from memes to movement, and how Joe Rogan just turned the heat all the way up with his podcast revelations. Let's get into it. Okay, let's back it up. This whole saga started with Sean Diddy Combs getting hit with a lawsuit from Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend and former artist. What she's alleging? It's over a decade of manipulation, coercion, and freaky, disturbing behavior that goes far beyond anything we've seen from the usual celebrity drama. Cassie didn't just speak out, she named names, gave dates, and told the world about the freak-off parties Diddy allegedly orchestrated. We're talking escorts, surveillance, secrecy, and a web of power built on fear. And while most of Hollywood tiptoed around it, 50 Cent pulled up with popcorn and receipts. For months, 50 Cent has been the only celebrity going hard at Diddy, non-stop. While everyone else was silent or playing neutral, 50 was on Instagram calling him out, dragging old interviews out the vault, and posting memes that were more like documentaries with jokes. But last week, he leveled up. He posted AI-generated memes of Diddy in prison, rocking an orange jumpsuit with captions like "Freak Off Fridays got canceled," and one of those posts, it got over 30 million views in just a few days. And behind the comedy, the message was crystal clear. Y'all knew. Y'all stayed quiet. I didn't. And now, Joe Rogan's talking too. On a recent podcast, he didn't hold back. He said he's been hearing names, celebrities, influencers, execs who allegedly partied with Diddy or were connected to the circles Cassie described. Rogan said it's time people stop protecting predators just because they're powerful. This isn't a one-man campaign anymore. It's a movement. Now let's get serious, because if 50 Cent or even Joe Rogan decides to drop names, produce evidence, or testify, y'all, that courtroom is going to turn into a spotlight on the entire industry. Here's what could come out: party culture. 50's hinted at those private freak-off parties for years. NDA only, no phones, random hotel suites. Rogan, through his contacts, has allegedly heard similar stories. If they speak publicly, they could name the who, when, where, and what. And it won't just be Diddy under fire. Industry enablers. 50's always said Diddy's been protected by the system, labels, brands, A-listers. Joe Rogan said on air that he wouldn't be surprised if some of the biggest names in music were aware and stayed silent. Grooming allegations. From day one, 50's clowned Diddy's mentorship vibes, calling it shady and exploitative. If he testifies or drops documents, we might get a deeper look at how young artists were allegedly manipulated into staying close. Business deals. 50's also a mogul. He knows how contracts and backdoor deals work. If Diddy did anything dirty, like misusing funds, silencing people through cash, or pushing NDAs to cover up, 50 could connect those dots for a jury like a pro. Witnesses. 50's already mentioned he's in contact with a former bodyguard who allegedly saw the worst of it. Joe Rogan said during his podcast that more people are reaching out to him privately, people afraid to speak publicly, but ready to expose what they saw. If these two actually align and speak up in court or on record, that's not testimony. That's an earthquake. Now don't get it twisted, this isn't a sudden feud. 50 Cent and Diddy have been beefing for years. Back in the 2000s, 50 was climbing the charts, G-Unit was running the streets, and Diddy was the flash king of hip-hop. But they were never really close. Until 50 Palms started shading Diddy publicly, calling him fake, questioning how he handled Biggie's legacy, and hinting that Diddy's parties were too weird. Remember the "We Ain't Party Party" clip with Fabulous? 50 was planting seeds. He's accused Diddy of grooming artists, using them up and leaving them behind. He's called out shady business practices. And year after year, while others stayed silent, 50 stayed loud. Diddy laughed it off, called him a hater. But now, 50's posts look more like warnings than jokes. And now with Joe Rogan amplifying the message, someone with a whole different audience across podcast land, UFC fans, and middle America, yeah, things just got serious. Picture this. Let's say 50 Cent walks into court. Joe Rogan releases a full podcast episode naming who he's heard was involved or complicit. What happens? The internet explodes. Twitter, meltdown. TikTok, every creator's live. Reddit, full-blown investigation mode. YouTube, flooded with breakdowns. Memes, instant. Live streams, millions watching. But more than that, the narrative flips. It's not Cassie versus Diddy anymore. It becomes receipts versus Hollywood. Because when people like 50 and Joe Rogan speak, they're not tied to labels. They don't need industry approval. They can say what everyone else is too scared to. And fans, they're not watching this like a court case. They're watching it like a revolution, a public unmasking, a moment that could change celebrity culture forever. Let's keep it real. If 50 Cent and Joe Rogan keep pulling back the curtain, this won't just hurt Diddy. This could trigger a full-blown Hollywood reckoning. Because if names start coming out, and we're talking rappers, execs, reality stars, influencers, even A-list actors, people who allegedly attended those parties, enabled the silence, or just looked the other way, careers could end overnight. Imagine collaborations canceled, tour dates dropped, sponsorships gone, people unfollowing each other in real time, entire brands distancing themselves to avoid the fallout. And let's not ignore the domino effect. If one celebrity gets publicly named and exposed, others will panic. People will start talking, more lawsuits could follow. More former assistants, stylists, drivers, bodyguards, all coming forward, armed with their NDAs, and ready to talk. This isn't just about one trial anymore. It's about an entire ecosystem of power, privilege, and silence. And once the audience sees behind the curtain, they don't forget. The fans who made these celebrities famous, they're watching everything now. Watching who speaks up, who deletes posts, who stays quiet. Because silence, in 2025, it's complicity. So buckle up, y'all. If 50 and Joe really start naming names, we're not just watching the downfall of a mogul. We're watching an industry reset itself. So here we are, Cassie's standing tall. 50's louder than ever. Joe Rogan's now in the mix, and the list of names allegedly connected to Diddy's world getting longer. This isn't just a scandal. It's a cultural turning point. A moment where power, silence, and celebrity protection are finally being called out. And the question isn't whether Diddy's empire survives, it's how many people go down with it. That's it for today's video. If you want the full breakdown when this next wave of truth hits, make sure you subscribe to Celebrity Corner, hit that notification bell, and keep your eyes open. Because this storm, it's just getting started. See you in the next one.